This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so so far we discussed about that Linux commands, shell scripting, Git, GitHub, Maven, Tomcat, SonarCube, Nexus. Right. So all these tools we discussed and we learned, we explored individually. Right. We didn't integrated one other. Yes or no? So manually we are operating these tools. So instead of manually operating these tools, with the help of any continuous integration tool, we can integrate all these tools with any CI tool and we can automate that one instead of manually operating these tools. So for that one, so the popular continuous integration tool, Jenkins, which we are going to discuss today. Right. See, right now, all these tools we are manually installed, right? Manually running those tools and we are using. Instead of that one, we are going to integrate these tools with the Jenkins, and in the Jenkins we are going to create a job and we are going to end to end we are going to do the automation, right? So as part of Jenkins, what we are going to discuss: continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment, then how to install the Jenkins server in Linux operating system. So we are not going to install in our laptop. Okay, so we are going to install Jenkins in only in the Linux server. Then how to implement CI/CD for our Java project using the freestyle project type. Then, however, we are going to discuss the directory structure for other softwares. Same way, we are going to discuss about for Jenkins also the directory structure. Then we are going to implement CI/CD for Java project using the Maven project type. So here we are using that freestyle project type, and here we are going to use that Maven project type. Then some plugin management. Plugin management means so what are the plugins which we used, for what purpose we use it, why we are using. So all these things we are going to discuss. Then Jenkins security. Jenkins security means how we are going to provide the security to our Jenkins server. Means how we can create the users, how we can provide the access to that users, then creating the views. Create CI/CD for Java project using the pipeline project type. So we have various project types are there, like freestyle, right? Maven project type, like that. We have another project type called pipeline project type. So these two are very very important, guys. When we are creating a job or implementing CI/CD for any project which we are following pipeline project type, so that time we are going to write a one script called as a pipeline script. So that pipeline script, it is going to that groovy. So in the real time, most of the time nowadays we are using that pipeline project type only. So for that one, what you have to do, you have to write the pipeline script. In the pipeline script, we are going to use the groovy, right? Then we are going to discuss about multi-branch pipeline. Then backup, Jenkins backup, how to take the backup for your Jenkins server, right? Then Jenkins migration from one server to another server, how we can migrate master slave architecture. So not only for Java project, this continuous integration, continuous delivery for we can implement for Node.js project also. So already you guys downloaded this Node.js project and you guys executed the SonarCube deploy. Then shared libraries. This is also very important topic. So these are the optional topics, but some of the optional topics we are going to cover, like Jenkins CLI, Slack integration. So these things not required. Okay. So these are not required. Jenkins home directory. I am going to give the assignment. So guys, it's if it is optional task means it is not part of our course, but some of the topics I am going to cover. Clear? So now tell me, what is the Jenkins? Jenkins is an open source Java based CI tool. CI tool means continuous integration tool. We'll discuss what do you mean by continuous integration. Jenkins is an open source Java based. So Jenkins is developed using the Java, right? And it is a continuous integration tool. So in 2004 only they have released that first version. So that time we are calling that Hudson. Hudson is the first name for the Jenkins, right? So Nikita is asking, can we do CD with Jenkins? Yes, we can do it, but we are not going to follow that Jenkins to do that continuous deployment or continuous delivery. Hmm. CI/CD means continuous integration. CD means continuous delivery or continuous deployment. Madhosh. So in 2004, they have released that first version and they have given the name as Hudson. So after that, in 2012, they have some dispute with the Oracle. So they have some issue with the Oracle. So initially, they were developing this Hudson product from the Oracle. So the team came out and they have started one community called as Jenkins community. Then they have given the name as Jenkins. Okay, so 10 years back, they have given the name as Jenkins. So initially, the product was released with the name Hudson by the Oracle. So later, they came out, they came out from the company, and they have started in 2012 with the name Jenkins. So now Hudson also is there, and Jenkins also is there. It's both are similar only, right? So whatever the code they have developed for Hudson, same code they took and they have given the new name as Jenkins. And parallelly, Jenkins is developing by the Jenkins community. Hudson is developing by the Oracle. Clear? So if you know Jenkins, Hudson is very simple. It's like a clone only, right? Brothers Hudson and Jenkins. Okay. So if you know Jenkins, easily can able to understand or learn the Hudson. Now we'll discuss about that. What do you mean by continuous integration? Anybody idea? So we know Jenkins is an open source Java-based continuous integration tool. What do you mean by continuous integration? Maven is a build tool. What do you mean by build? Build is nothing but processing of automating the creating the packages and all. Right. Here, continuous integration means continuous integration is the process of automating the build. Array, switch off your cameras. So Om Prakash Hudson, please repeat once again, sir, if you don't mind. See, initially they have given the name as Hudson. They have released it in 2004 as a continuous integration tool. Later, they have some dispute with the Oracle company. So some guys they came out of from that company. They have started with a new product called as Jenkins. So they have changed the name to Jenkins. Still, Hudson also is there. This is also one tool like Jenkins. and Jenkins also it is there. Clear? Okay. So continuous integration is the process of automating the build and testing the code every time every time when a developer push the code to version control system. Version control system. See, continuous integration is the process of automating the build and testing the code every time when a developer push the code to the version control system. If you see in this diagram, so developers are there here, right? So they are going to develop the code. As soon as a developer push the code to the source code management, that code has to be taken and that code has to be tested automatically, and that code, for that code we need to create the packages, right? So that entire process we are going to call as a continuous integration. So in the continuous integration there is no deployment step. It is not going to involve here. We are not going to deploy the code in any of the application servers if it is a Java project. So only till this part we are going to call as a continuous integration system. So using this Jenkins, we are going to integrate all these tools, right? So as soon as developer push the code, whatever the job which we created in the Jenkins, this job will take the code with the help of Maven. It will run the all the unit test cases. Then it will execute the SonarQube report. Then it is going to create a package. If all the unit test cases are passed, then it is going to upload that artifact into artifact repository. So this entire process we are going to call as a continuous integration. So continuous integration means we are automating the build process when if the developer push the code. As soon as developer push the code, that code has to be tested, and for that code has to be do the build. So that process we can call as continuous integration. In one of the interviewer asked, so if you want to implement the continuous integration, okay, what are the tools you are going to recommend? What are the tools you are going to recommend? So whatever I have specified here, these are the tools we are going to recommend. Why? What are the tools I have specified here? All are open source. You don't want to pay the money. If you want to use any of these tools which I have specified here, you don't want to pay the money. Right? Suppose if it is a .NET application, can we implement the CI/CD using this Jenkins for .NET applications? Yes, already we discussed it, right? So Jenkins, SonarQube, Nexus, these softwares are these tools developed using the Java, but even though it is going to work for multiple languages, we can implement CI/CD process for Node.js projects, .NET applications also. Suppose if you are going to implement CI/CD process for .NET application, you have to change that this build tool. Instead of Maven, which build tool we are going to use? We are going to use that MS build. We are going to use the MS build. So Suresh is asking, without build, how will test will happen? Suresh, here test means unit test cases. I have one question. So first we are going to create the package, then we are going to test, we are going to run the unit test cases, or first we'll run the unit test cases, then we are going to create the package. First it will run the unit test cases, then it will create a package. Even if any of the one unit test case fail also, your package is not going to create. Right. So Dharmendran is asking, deployment also done using the Jenkins. So where the Docker and Kubernetes comes? See, it's a, did you attended my demo? If you attended my demo, there I have explained. See, without Docker and Kubernetes also, we can implement this DevOps methodology. Then why we need to use that Docker and Kubernetes? It's a depends on your application architecture. If it is a microservices architecture, definitely we are going to use the Docker and Kubernetes. Right, we'll discuss what is the microservices architecture and monolithic architecture. Okay, so definitely, so nowadays, most of the projects, they are following that microservices architecture. So that's why you should know that Docker and Kubernetes. So some companies still they are not following that Docker and Kubernetes. Without that two technologies also, you will get the job. So what you will do after completing Jenkins and Ansible, I'm going to give you that the resume preparation classes. Okay. Then once resume preparation is over, if anybody is eagerly waiting to upload the resume, you guys can upload the resume and you guys can give the interviews. So many of our students are getting jobs till this whatever we covered. Okay, so not now, after finishing that resume preparation, right? Yes, so when we are covering resume preparation, we are going to discuss about that as a DevOps engineer, what is our roles and responsibilities, what is our daily activities. Once we'll go to the office, what we are going to do, all those things we are going to discuss, and also like some agile topics. Okay, so once resume preparation class is over, you guys can upload your resume. So many of our students getting the job before completing the course also, even previous batches also, two three guys they got the job. Still they didn't complete it Docker and Kubernetes. But most of the companies, they are looking for a Docker and Kubernetes. Without Docker and Kubernetes, you are not going to get the calls also. Okay. But those two topics are very hard topics. You guys has to attend regularly and do the practice. If you're not practicing, you are not able to understand. Very hard subjects, Docker and Kubernetes. So now you guys clear about that continuous integration, right? So now you can read this definition. Continuous integration is the process of automating the build and testing the code of every time when a developer puts the code to the version control system. Even if you see our document, I have given one very simple definition. Continuous integration is the process of automating build and testing of code every time a team member commits the changes to the version control system. So we have other definition also. You don't want to follow this one. So, and already we discussed about that continuous integration flow. If you want to implement continuous integration, what are the tools we need to use? Then another topic is continuous integration benefits. If you implement the continuous integration, what are the benefits we are going to get? So first we'll discuss about that. If you don't implement continuous integration, what will happen? If you don't implement continuous integration, what will happen? So this is the continuous integration flow. See here, there is no deployment step, right? So when this deployment step will come, whether it is a continuous delivery or continuous deployment, right? Suppose assume we didn't implement the continuous integration model for our project. Manually we are doing. So assume as a developer, he pushed the code and he left for the day. So other developers are taking their code, updated code, and they are getting that build issues. So they are checking for a developer. So already this developer left for the day. They call him, already I left for the day, like that they are saying. So these other developers are waiting to that the developer who pushes that code. Right? See, they are waiting to fix that issue. Right? It is a time-consuming process. Suppose if you implement that continuous integration process, as soon as developer puts the code, your Jenkins job, it will take the code, it will run the unit test cases. If all the unit test cases pass, then it is going to create a package. It will execute the Sonar script report. That artifact is going to upload into the artifact repository. Then it is going to send a notification also, whether it is a email notification or Slack notification. So how many guys heard about that Slack? Slack is a one communicator. It is a one tool. With the help of that one, we can chat with our colleagues. Like see, some companies they are using that Slack. However, we guys are using that Skype for chatting. Same way, some companies they are using that Slack is a communicator, right? Skype for business, Teams, like many communicators are there. So this is Slack also very popular communicator tool. How many guys are using? So Om Prakash sir, in case of CA, how developer knows that whether this application is working or not? See, in continuous integration, we are not going to do any deployment. Just we are going to take the code, we'll do the build, we are going to create a package, and we are going to upload into the artifact repository. We are not going to deploy. So here testing the code means the unit test cases are going to run. Okay, so if all unit test cases are passed, then we are going to create the package. Clear? So many people are using this Slack. Okay, so this is what. So if you see here, if the build status, whether it is a success or failure, it is going to send a email notification or Slack notification. So immediately developer identifies, right? So whether previous build is successful or not. If any issues are there, if build is failed, immediately whoever worked on that particular code, they are going to fix it. So if you observe, the advantage, the benefit of continuous integration is immediate bug detection. Immediately, developer will notify and they are going to fix that one. That is the main advantage, main benefit of continuous integration, bug detection. Right? See here, immediate bug detection. And no integration step involved in the software development lifecycle. So earlier when we are not following this DevOps methodology, so front-end developers, UI developer, this back-end developers, everyone sitting and we are integrating the code and we are deploying the code manually. That step not required now, right? All the developers, UI or back-end, they are going to commit the code into the same version control system. And a deployable system at any given point. Deployable system means that package is already there. That package is tested by unit test cases and it has uploaded into the artifact repository. Now we can take this package and we can deploy into that application server, right? So a record of evaluation of the project means, so once if you create a job here, it is going to, once first time if you do the build, first two, one, two, three. So like that, the build numbers are going to, it is going to add, and we can see how much time in the build one that it took. All the things we can see in the Jenkins job. So it is going to maintain all your project history. So the main advantage of continuous integration is bug detection. Okay, so if you don't implement, you need to wait until that developer has to fix if any issues are there in the code. Clear? So we discussed about that. What is the continuous integration? So what are the tools which we need to use to implement continuous integration? And what are the benefits of continuous integration? Clear? Anybody have any questions, guys? So Dharmendran is asking, what are the different examples of scenarios for build and failure? Means what cases build will get failed? See, build will failure if dependencies are not updated. Suppose the developer mentioned some dependencies which are not there in the artifact repository or Maven central repository. See, developer has mentioned one dependency, but which is not available, or it is not uploaded into the remote repository. We are going to get a build error. Or sometimes developer he didn't tested the code properly, he pushed the code. Sometimes we may going to get that compilation errors, right? So sometimes SonarKeep server is not up and running, but we are trying to execute the SonarKeep report. We are going to get that. We'll see some of the build related errors, how to fix those things. We are going to cover after creating the job. Okay. So now we'll discuss about that continuous delivery and continuous deployment. So CD means continuous delivery. See here we specified now. We are going to discuss about continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment. CD means either it may be a continuous delivery or continuous deployment. So what is the difference between continuous delivery and continuous deployment? Artifact repo means remote repository, Nexus. Yes. Yes, artifact repository, remote repository, all are which we created in the Nexus only. Correct. So if you observe here in continuous delivery, for production deployment, manually we are triggering the job. But in the continuous deployment, if you see here, in all the environments, end-to-end automation. Okay, suppose if you take this, so as a developer, you push the code to the source code management. So now that code has to be, first we have to deploy which environment? We are going to deploy dev environment. We are going to take this code and we are going to deploy in the dev environment. So once it is successful, then we are going to deploy into the QA environment. Once QA environment is successful, then we are going to deploy into the production environment, prod. Right. So this is the flow which we are going to follow. So if it is end-to-end automation like dev to QA, QA to prod, so this is called as continuous deployment model. But for some of the projects, we are not going to implement end-to-end automation till we are going to implement. So before deploying code to the production environment, we are going to take the approval from the client, right? So if the client has provided that approval, the client has given that approval, and QA team has given that sign off mail. Sign off mail means yes, as per the requirement, all the features are working fine. So once they will given that approval, then we are going to deploy code to the production. So in the Jenkins already we created a job, just manually we are going and we are triggering that job. So this is entire process we are going to call as continuous deployment, continuous delivery. For a production, see manually we are going to deploy. Manually means we are going to trigger the job manually. But anyway, it is going to do the automation only. but not automatically it is going to trigger. Manually we are going to trigger. So for which projects we are going to implement a continuous delivery model? For which projects we are going to implement continuous deployment model? So Suresh is asking, sir, deploying the package into dev and QA server won't come under continuous deployment. See, it will come continuous delivery model or deployment model. So if end to end, if you deploy in all the environments, we are going to call as continuous deployment. Delivery means till that QA environment which we are going to deploy. For production, manually we are going to trigger. So for which projects we are going to implement this continuous deployment and continuous delivery model? So this continuous delivery usually we are going to implement for external projects. External projects. So this deployment, continuous deployment we are going to implement usually for internal projects. Internal projects. Internal projects or we can call it in-house projects. What do you mean by internal projects? So the projects which are going to use within our organization by our employees, those applications we are going to call as continuous integration. Continuous integrate this internal projects, right? So suppose if you take that HRMS, okay, that application we are going to use within our company by our employees. Yes, payroll system, right? So if you want to download the payroll, your pay slip, or if you want to see that your CTC, those things we can see in that HRMS, right? Payroll system. That that application is going to use within our company only. Yes or no? By our employees. So that is called as internal applications. External applications. Suppose if you take that Facebook. So from Mithun Software Solutions, we are working for the Facebook. So this is the external application, right? So if you want to deploy something into the production environment, first we need to take the approval from the client here. So client is here, Facebook is our client, right? So for external applications, we are not going to implement that continuous deployment. If you implement continuous deployment, end-to-end automation to that production also, but we are not going to deploy the code into the production environment without taking the approval from the client. Yes, client projects are external projects. Yes, Shafiq. Sir, for continuous deployment, we don't need to give you approval, right? Yes, for continuous deployment, we don't want any approval. But anyway, before deploying code from one environment to other environment, first after deploying code, we are going to run that automation test cases, right? So by automation test engineer, he is going to write some automation test cases by using some open source frameworks like what is the popular automation testing framework? Selenium. Selenium is a automation testing framework. So what is the use of Selenium? Just however you are going to test manually, see opening the browser, accessing that URL, then logging into that application, here and there you are going to navigate the same way we can achieve that testing using this Selenium also. So once Selenium test cases are passed, then we are going to deploy into the other environment here also. That one also we can configure, right? So for internal projects, we can implement continuous deployment. For external projects, we are going to implement continuous delivery model. Clear? Anybody have any questions about this difference between continuous delivery and continuous deployment? Okay, if not, we'll go to that what Jenkins can do. So we are going to use this Jenkins, right? What Jenkins can do for us. Using this Jenkins, we can integrate other version control systems like GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, CVS, SVN, TFS with our Jenkins. Right. Suppose your source code is in GitLab. Yes, you can get the code from GitLab also. Bitbucket, GitHub, CVS, SVN, TFS, any version control system, if your source code is there, easily we can able to get it. But we are going to install some plugins. We'll see. Then it is going to generate the reports, test reports. It is showing here JUnit test reports. See, already we discussed it, right? Each programming language unit testing framework is there. If it is a Java, JUnit testing framework. If it is a .NET, what is the testing framework? NUnit. If it is a C language, CUnit testing. If it is a C++, CPP unit testing framework is there. So Jenkins can generate the JUnit report also. Means how many test cases has ran, how much of code coverage, which lines are covered by unit test cases. All these things it is going to give the report. You may have question, sir. Even Selenium also, this SonarQube also going to give the report now. We saw, right? How many unit test cases has ran, how much of code coverage, which lines are covered. Then what is the difference between generating the report by Jenkins and SonarQube? So here one advantage is there. So in the Jenkins, so we are going to use one plugin called as Jacoco. Jacoco means Java Code Coverage. With help of this plugin, we can stop the deployment if the code coverage is not up to whatever we are expecting. Suppose we are expecting the code coverage is 80%. I'm expecting the code coverage 80%. If the code coverage is not 80%, it is not going to deploy. It is going to stop deployment and it will mark as a build failure. But whereas in SonarQube, no. Just it is going to generate the report. It is not going to stop deployment and all. Right, that is the difference. So guys, this is also very important plugin which we are going to use. Clear? So it is going to generate the test report, and using this Jenkins, we can push that build artifacts to that various artifact repositories. See here we use that Nexus, right? Instead of Nexus, you can use that other artifact repositories also, like a JFrog. Also, you can use it. It is going to support, right? And deploys directly to the production or test environment. Using this Jenkins, you can implement continuous delivery model or continuous deployment model. Notify stakeholders of build status. Means here stakeholders means clients, right? So we can send that notification, build status through emails or through communicator also. See, we can integrate Jenkins with the Slack, Telegram also. Okay. So whether build is successful or failed, we can notify that one. So like that, using Jenkins, we can do many things, right? So we have other continuous integration tools also, right? We'll see what are the other continuous integration tools. So what are the benefits if I use Jenkins as my continuous integration tool? Om Prakash is asking, sir, even in sonar cave we make pipeline failure if it at that quality gets. Yes, see, but that is not by the sonar cave. With the help of Jenkins, we are doing that one. Yes or no? Without Jenkins, can you able to stop the deployment? No, right? Okay. So what are the benefits of Jenkins? So Om Prakash said, sir, Jenkins generate the report, na? Then what is the use of sonar cave? See, Jenkins will generate only the JNet report, but it is not going to generate that sonar cube report, right? How the code quality, it is not going to check. So the code quality is going to managed by the sonar cube only. If the developer is following all the standards or not, so all these things going to be verified by the sonar cube only, not by the Jenkins. Clear? So some of the benefits of the Jenkins. If you use Jenkins, what are the benefits we are going to get? So the main thing is it's an open source tool. So if you want to use the Jenkins, you don't want to pay the money, right? It's a free, and they are giving the source code also. If you want, you can enhance that existing features. And if any issues are there when you are using that Jenkins, if you are getting any errors, they are using one ticketing tool called as Jira, and you can create a ticket, and they are going to work on the ticket. So for that one, first you have to register in the Jenkins Jira ticketing tool. Okay. So, but don't expect that immediate support, because many people are using and many people are going to raise this one. So Nikita is asking, do we need to create a ticket for developers? Not for the developers. So for Jenkins community team. So whoever developing this Jenkins, for those guys, they are going to assign themselves who are going to work on that one. They are going to fix that issue if you have any issues, right? We are not going to assign them automatically themselves. Just we are going to create it if any issues are there. Is it chargeable? If any tickets we can log in community? No, it's a free. Okay. So Jenkins tool, we this Jira tool, we are not maintaining, right? Just we are users of that Jira tool. Just we are using that Jira tool to create the tickets, right? So the administrators of Jira is by the Jenkins community team. They are going to manage. Okay. And it is easy to install, and it has a simple configuration through a web-based GUI, which speed up that job configurations. Okay, so we have some continuous integration tools. Those continuous integration tools don't have GUI. Everything you have to do it from the configuration files. It will take more time, right? But Jenkins have very good GUI, right? It can help us to create the jobs very quickly. So Ashok is asking, okay, so support also free from Jenkins? Yes, you don't want to pay the money for support also. So that's why I'm saying that, see, it is an open source tool with great community support. So Nikita is asking, suppose if we have any issues during the build in Jenkins pipeline, do we need to communicate with the developers through Jira? No, madam. If any problem with your Jenkins features, see, they have developed some features. If that feature is not working, those things you can create a ticket and you can work with the Jenkins team. While using the Jenkins, Okay, for your jobs, if any issues related to your jobs, you have to work with the our development guys, not the Jenkins development guys. Got it? If any issue with the product, that time we have to work with the Jenkins team. Okay, got it? When we have to work with the Jenkins team, and when we have to work with the our development team. When you are getting issues with our application, build issues, we have to work with our development team. If any issues with Jenkins product, Jenkins tool, that time we need to work with the Jenkins community team. Okay, so installing Jenkins, creating the jobs, implementing CI/CD using the Jenkins, it's very simple. Okay, because it is having very good GUI. So Jenkins having 1800 plus plugins are there. Okay, so however, Maven central repository having that many dependencies, right, which are required for our project. Same way here also, Jenkins repository having that many plugins which are useful when we are using the Jenkins. What do you mean by plugin here? Plugin is nothing but it's a piece of software which can add features to that Jenkins. Right. Suppose if you install that Jacoco plugin, if you install Jacoco plugin, it is going to add one feature. After installing Jacoco plugin, then only you can able to generate the JUnit report. So based on your requirement, you can install that whatever the plugins you want. So around 1800 plus plugins are there. So when I'm documenting that time it was 1500. So now it's 1800 plus plugins are there. Okay. So if you want, you can go and search those plugins. This is the URL plugins.jenkins.io. Go here, just open this one jenkins.plugins.io. Jenkins.plugins.io. Just search with Jenkins plugins repository. This one Jenkins dot oh plugins.jenkins.io. You see here 1800 plus plugins are there. Okay, so these plugins are developed by Jenkins community team as well as by others also. Suppose you are looking one plugin for your requirement. You have one requirement and you are checking is there any plugin which can help us. Out of 1800 plus plugins, none of the plugin is supporting. What you can do? You can develop your own plugin and you can install it. And that plugin you can share with the Jenkins community team. So they are going to upload into the Jenkins repository. They are going to upload into the Jenkins repository so that others also can able to access it. Right. So Jenkins repository is like a Maven central repository. In Maven central repository, you will see that all the dependencies. In Jenkins repository, plugin repository, we can see that all the plugins, right? So Dharmendran is asking why they are not included existing plugins in the latest version or product in general. See, all these plugins it may not require to use for your requirement. Unnecessarily you are making that product size bigger, right? It's a kind of a plug and play. Whatever that features you want, you can install it. If you don't want, you can uninstall it, so that we can make our product very smoother, simpler way, very lightweight. Sir, no? See here, usually normal Jenkins symbol will be like this one. See, after seeing this symbol, what you can able to remember? It's kind of a waiter, right? So Jenkins continuously going to wait for our request. It is going to serve for us, right? So if you go to our Jenkins plugins repository, see here. Hmm? So plugins can add that features, extra features. That's why for this one, after installing, this is normal Jenkins. After installing the plugins, you are going to get that various extra features. That's why see, they added different features to that same image, right? So here various categories plugins are there: platform plugins, user interface, administration, build management. So what are the new plugins are there? Right, recently updated plugins. See, Slack notification, this is a plugin which we are going to use to send the notifications, right? Then trending plugins, we are going to use that SSH agent, role based strategy, right? Then sonar keep scanner plugin, many plugins we are going to use it. We are going to discuss in the plugin management. Okay, so it has around 1800 plus plugins are easy to your work. If a plugin does not exist, what you can do? Just code it. Code it means develop, and you can share with the Jenkins community team also. You can use it, so that others also they can able to use it, and they are going to keep your name. Okay, who developed this plugin? Clear? So it builds with Java, hence it is portable on all major platforms. Means it is developed using the Java, so it can be run by, maybe it can be installed in any of the operating systems like Mac, Windows, right? In all the operating systems. Clear? Good documentation and enriched support articles information is available on the internet. Means why we are seeing many documents and support articles are available in the internet for Jenkins. See, many people are using this Jenkins. Why? The reason is open source, right? So that's why, suppose you are using Jenkins, you are facing some issue, right? You are going to upload into that issue in some portals. I'm using the Jenkins. Okay, so I have created some blogs. So like that, many people are created some articles. Those are available in the internet. But some products you are not going to get the documents, because those products are not going to use it by many of the guys because of not open source. If you want to use that product, you have to purchase the license, right? So I will share one of the incident which I faced 2 years back. I was using one product, okay, one tool that is not the open source. I got one error. I searched in the Google. I got only two results related to that issue. Even in Yahoo also I searched. Same two results only I got. But with the help of those tools, with the help of those results, I couldn't able to fix that one. Again, I contact to that product team. So it took more time. But if it is Jenkins, if you search something, you will get that n number of results. See, we searched something like Jenkins community, this Jenkins repository, right? So we got that. See how many results? 25 lakhs 30,000 results we got it. But when I'm searching for one issue, only two results I got it. Okay, because that product is not using by many people. So Jenkins not only is going to use it by the DevOps team. Okay, Jenkins can be used by any of the IT professionals. So in my company, many of the automation testing engineers are there. What they are going to do? They are going to write the Selenium test cases, and they are going to push into that this one source code management, GitHub or GitLab, Bitbucket. So those test cases every day I want to run at night 12 o'clock. So what they are doing? They are creating a one job in the Jenkins. They are configuring this repository URL in the Jenkins, so that so whatever the time you have configured, that particular time it will get the code from GitHub, and it is going to run the unit that Selenium test cases. And also some of my DBA guys, my colleagues, so they are writing some queries. So 1 second, guys, I'm getting call. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, so 1 second. Okay, so some of my DBA colleagues, what they are doing, they are writing some SQL queries. So they want to execute first in the dev environment, dev database, then QA database. So those SQL queries also you can write a one job in the Jenkins, and you can automate it instead of manually executing. So that's why nowadays not only the DevOps engineers, developers, QA engineers, DBA guys, everyone started using this Jenkins. So whatever they are doing manually, they are automating the things, right? So that's why, so Jenkins is very popular and powerful also. It is going to automate whatever we are doing manually. It is going to do that automation. Okay, so that is what here I have explained. So whatever this diagram it is showing, TBD and means to be document. So already I have explained this one. Okay. So what are other popular continuous integration tools? Jenkins is there. Yes, already. Yes, it is open source. another tool name called as CloudBees Jenkins. CloudBees Jenkins. So what is the use of this CloudBees Jenkins? Is it open source? No. So CloudBees Jenkins is a enterprise edition. So our Jenkins, whatever we are discussing, that Jenkins, that one we are going to call as CE. CE means, anybody idea? C abbreviation. Community edition. EE means enterprise edition. So if you want to use the community edition, you don't want to pay the money. But if you want to use that CloudBees Jenkins, this is the enterprise edition. You have to pay the money. So CloudBees is the company. What they did, so whatever the code which is providing by the community, Jenkins community, they're taking on top of that one. They are developing some extra features and they're releasing as a enterprise edition. Okay. So if you use that enterprise edition, the benefits of enterprise edition is, if you are facing any issues, immediately you are going to get that support also. Immediately you are going to get the support also. But for using that product, you have to pay the money, right? You are not going to get that freely. So like that, we have some more continuous integration tools like Bamboo. Bamboo. Who is the vendor of this Bamboo? Atlassian. So Nikita is asking, in organizations, which edition they are going to use? It depends on your requirement. Suppose, see, so some projects which I worked, there we are using that CloudBees Jenkins. For some of the projects, I use that communication. So some clients, they are going to give you that funding for that purchasing the license for the communication. But some of the clients, they are not going to give you. So that time what you have to do? You can go with use that communication only. Okay. Just tell that interviewer. So I worked on both. Okay. So Bamboo, this is also one of the continuous integration tool. The provider of Bamboo is Atlassian. Atlassian is a one company name. So many tools are providing by Atlassian, like Bitbucket. So what is the Bitbucket? It is a source code management. Jira. So like many tools are providing by that Atlassian company, right? Many tools are providing by the Atlassian company. But whatever the tools which are providing by Atlassian company, these are not free. Even if you want to use, you have to pay the money, purchase the license. Clear? So like that, see here, cruise control. I was using this cruise control around 7 years back when I was in Cognizant. Okay, but it is not having good features compared to that Jenkins and all. Okay, so Travis CI, Circle CI, GitLab CI. So we discussed about that GitLab, right? So GitLab is a source code management, and GitLab having its own inbuilt tool CI also. So we can call as a GitLab CI also. Okay, so GitLab can be used to manage the source code, as well as you can implement the continuous integration also. So Praveen Kumar is asking, if you learn any one of these tools, others will be easy. Yes, it's very simple. So however, see, you guys learn that GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab and all very simple. Same git commands we are going to use here also. Here and there it is a little different, but easily you can able to learn that other tools. Clear? GitLab EC is free, right? Say GitLab, there is no community edition. Yes, free is there, okay, but enterprise also is there, but you are not going to see that community edition in the GitLab. Clear? So now we'll discuss about the Jenkins installation. So if you want to install the Jenkins, first, what is the prerequisite software which we need to install? Java. Why? Because Maven, this Maven, SonarQube, Jenkins, Nexus, SonarQube, all these softwares developed using the Java, right? So if you want to install these softwares, first you have to install the Java. So which version of Java we have to install? So for a Jenkins 2.x version, we have to install that Java 1.8. Java 1.8. So what is the hardware requirements? Just for installing and running the Jenkins server, 1 GB is enough. But after installing, we are going to integrate all these softwares. Na? So that's why better to create that 4 GB RAM server and you can install it so that your server is not going to crash. Many time what the people are going to do, even I'm explaining, guys, use this 4 GB, but still they are creating with 1 GB RAM and they are not able to run that successfully because they have some issue. Because if you create a 1 GB RAM, it is not able to allocate memory for all the components and all when you are configuring external components. So that's why better to go with 4 GB RAM. Even don't install in the SonarQube server or Nexus server. Dedicatedly separate server you can create it for this Jenkins. Now what I'm going to do? I'm going to create a one Jenkins server. There I'm going to launch one Linux server with Red Hat distribution, and I'm going to go back, select that T2 medium 4 GB RAM. Hmm, yes, see it is saying that we have noticed that you have changed your instance type. Yes, I want to continue with the T2 medium. Next, next, next. So guys, if you want, you can add that enable the port here itself. Okay, so or later also you can. So now itself I'm enabling that all the ports. Okay, from anywhere, review and launch and launch. Click on view instances. So give the name. So I'm going to give the name as Jenkins server. So Om Prakash is asking, in organization, what will be the size of system resources in master slave? See, just tell them we are using that 64 GB RAM. So Pavan is saying that remaining instances which we created earlier, we can terminate, right? No, we are not going because we are going to integrate. We are not going to install all softwares in this Linux server. Okay, just we are going to integrate it. So now connect to the server. Okay, go to the folder where your PEM files are there. See, Java is not installed. Okay, very simple. Installing Java is very simple. So go here, click on this label called as Java. So there I have documented how to install this OpenJDK. Don't use that one. See, again and again I'm telling, follow this blog. Okay, switch to the root user, then go to the opt directory, install it. Okay, so Java is installed. Now I have installed that Jenkins. So installing Jenkins is very simple. So if you want to install the Jenkins, we are going to use that yum install Jenkins -y. Right. If you execute this one, you are going to get a error. We are going to get a error. Why? Because uh, that Jenkins package is not there by default. What you have to do? Just go here. Just search with Jenkins download. Okay. See here, they are giving that LTS version. LTS means stable, and regularly weekly they are releasing. Usually we are going to install long term support LTS versions only. Every 12 weeks they are releasing. Okay, see here, each operating system they have separate packages are there, and they have one generic Java packages there, that war file. It can be going to work. This package is going to work for all the operating systems, but we are not going to use this one. So we are going to use this one. Which one? So we are going to install in Red Hat, right? Click on this one. See, they have given two commands. What they are doing here, just observe. They are downloading this Jenkins package from this particular your website, and they are keeping into this particular location. All our m repositories packages are available in etc directory m.repos.d. This one. Then they are importing some key. Just execute these two commands. After that, you can execute that yum install Jenkins. You will get the error. I will tell you which one you have to, what option you have to update it. Seems they have fixed that one. So earlier we are getting some error. So Kaveri is asking, sir, shall we create many instances in T2 medium? Is there any problem in billing generating? Not a problem at all. So if you go and see in our my AWS here, bill summary, billing, just click on this one, billing. If you see USD $101, click on bills. See, this is a March bill and February bill. See, 16,000 rupees, and January bill 387. See how many bills are there, right? Don't worry about all these things. Okay, we can create a ticket. They are going to make zero. Okay, so Jenkins is installed. Once Jenkins is installed, it is going to create a one service. So the service is called as Jenkins. So you can use that systemctl enable service name. Why we need to enable? So as soon as your Linux server is started, automatically it has to run that service. Now we need to start it. Okay, systemctl start Jenkins. Okay, once it is started, then you can check the status. You can use the service command also, your wish. So it is started, just check the status. So it is running. Now how to access it? So for accessing that Jenkins, you have to take that Linux server where you have installed that Linux server public IP address, then colon port number. So the default port number for Jenkins server is how much, guys? 8080. Already we discussed it, right? So take this URL, go to your browser and access it. So it is saying that not a, it's not, maybe still it is not up and running. Sometimes it may take time. No need to use HTTP. HTTP only. Use that HTTP. I think by default it's so take that HTTP. So guys, if you want to log in, so initial password is there in this particular file. So take that. So like same way Nexus. So that Nexus initial admin password is there. Na? Same way here also. Take this token, then go here and click on continue. See, it is going to show us that here install suggested plugins. Select plugins to install. See, we are not sure about which plugins we need to install, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to click on install suggested plugins. So automatically it is going to install some plugins. Okay, so click on install suggested plugins. See, these are the plugins which it is going to install. When you are installing Jenkins, make sure your internet should have very good bandwidth. Okay, so if your internet is not good, it is going to fail some installing these plugins. See, it is going to take some time. So once it is installed, all the plugins, it will take you to that next screen. There we are going to create that first admin user. We are going to create one user. That is a user which we are going to use to log in into that Jenkins server. Okay. So before coming to the next class, everyone should complete this installation and come, so that tomorrow onwards all the practicals only. Next 10 to 11 classes. So it is taking time. So Om Prakash is asking, what will be the hard disk size when now whatever we are using. So by default it is okay. So by default it is going to take 10 GB hard disk space, but in the real time it will be like a 1 TB. It will be there. Even see, they are going to increase based on our requirement. They are continuously monitor our server file system usage, and they are going to monitor also. They are going to add. So Smita is asking, sir, if AWS bill occurs, they do waive off every month or had only once? Yes, they are going to do only once. So that's why once you will get that second month bill, that time you can create a waive off. So Harshvardhan, will they not automatically deduct from credit card or debit card, right? No, they are not going to. So even as per RBI, okay, so they should not supposed to deduct the money automatically. See, once plugins are installed successfully, it is going to ask that create the user. So I'm going to create the user Mithun Technologies. Password is a password, full name Mithun Technologies, and email. So you can give that any email ID. It is not going to validate. Just click on save and continue, save and finish, start using Jenkins. So this is our Jenkins dashboard. So successfully we have installed this Jenkins server. So before coming to the next class, everyone should complete installing this Jenkins, so that we are going to integrate other tools with our Jenkins server, and we are going to make that automation. Okay, clear guys? Thank you. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.